One, two, three. Welcome back to the channel, and we're going to cover Bitcoin, MSTR, and MSTY. These three things, which are interrelated in some way, and we're looking here at a chart of Bitcoin, a daily futures chart. And as you can see, Bitcoin made a very nice cup-like pattern here, went up, scaled up to 126,000, and then it started dropping here down to the 50-day moving average. Today it is bouncing back here. Let's take a look into dive into a more subtle 1 hourly chart. So this is the 1 hourly chart is here. You can see Bitcoin was here at 108 not too long ago, 925, ran up all the way to 127 and started selling off. This was also last Friday. Bitcoin also fell apart with the general market when President Trump tweeted tariffs on China in action. So that was also a result over the weekend. A lot of big whales liquidated some of their Bitcoin. But then it gapped down here today. And now is lo and behold, at the evening, it's trading up and looks like a very bullish pattern. What really is happening here? We're here at the cusp of 50-day moving average, and that's where it is finding support. So the support is real and the facts are there. This thing looks like we'll bounce it back to the 21-day, which is at 111.17, and then up higher. Most likely that's what probably be happening with the general market. So how are we relating this to MSTR and MSTY, which we will cover right now. MSTR is, as you know, is a depository of Bitcoin. It holds about 75, 80 million, billion, not million, billion Bitcoins. And the chart has not been very illustrative, but it has been in a downward motion since July. It made a high here of about 452, came down here, even though when the Bitcoin went up to recently high 126, it did not plop to higher levels of 400, but topped here at 464 and then started falling here and continuously fall. It fell through the 50-day moving average, 200-day moving average, and then below now. So it's in a bear territory. It does have earnings coming up here on 29. And the reason for this is that Bitcoin holds about 75, 80 billion Bitcoins, and its valuation on a market basis as a whole was about 1.5 times of it, 114, 118 billion. So it's trading at a multiples of 1.5. Those valuations do shrink, and they have started shrinking. And that's why you're seeing that Bitcoin is not trending as higher, because it was trading at a high 1.5 multiple of the repository it has. So it has started selling, and the valuations have started disappearing. They may come back to parity 1:1. We don't know exactly, but that has caused consternation and anxiety among investors who are looking at the Bitcoin losing its value. Not Bitcoin losing its value, but MSTR losing its grip. And so this thing is now at under 300. What it does again is MSTY, which is a call-based ETF. So if you look at this chart, it has nothing but downward motion. This is a yield max MSTR based strategy based call ETF. And it has been giving a spectacular return, dividends 2.37, 1.47, 1.24. So back in May, when it was here at 2.37, I joined in. So I have position into Bitcoin here, started at 25, and it has led me nothing down but down and down and down. All the moving averages are downward moving, and it has made a very low here recently of 12.83. It's bouncing back a little bit to 13.4. So let's take a look at it here on a 15-minute chart. Now we have 15-minute chart will do. So this is what the trajectory is. It's a downward trajectory. It is moving downwards, along with the stock MSTR, which is also moving downwards because it's based on call and calls that they write on the stock and give you the income back. And I had seen many videos here promising a whole lot, which were saying that if you continue with MSTY, you can retire endlessly with wealth. Look and lo and behold, this is what happens here. You may be getting the dividend, which is if you add up here from 237, which is at 25, and down here and take the NAV value, which is for me, it has decimated to half. So I'm looking at it 13, 14, which is completely half of what I started with. And therefore, there's a heavy NAV depletion on MSTY. So anyone who's holding and buying or had here MSTY is now under the water. They're losing money on the NEV, which is the value of the stock, but they're gaining some money from the dividends that were given out. So it's like you're putting your own money into it and getting it back, but not all of it. And therefore, you're going into a negative situation on an ETF, which is not it's supposed to be. So I don't know how long this hemorrhaging will take place, if this will recover or not recover. It's rate to be seen. But 13-point cut down since May is a hell of a lot. MSTR itself hasn't done very well here because of the valuations on MSTR, which were 1.5 times than the holdings it has. It's a holding repository company. Mainly, that's what basically it is done, and they have some other holdings as well. But from 456 down to 300 and below is trading at 315. It's a significant amount of a stock market, a stock valuation loss. So the valuations are now getting into 1:1 parity, I believe, and earnings are here. We shall see how these earnings are going to take place. But for now, MSTY has not got any good news. Unless these moving averages start suddenly turning up and to the vertical side, we don't see anything else coming up here. The NAV will continue deteriorating, will go down to 10, 5, whatever. It's like any other yield max high income funds that I have seen. So I am into it. This is a loss, definitely. You would experiencing it if you're buying it. If you have invested it, you are losing money, no doubt. But there is another way. There's not a single way that I know of how to get out of it. So this is the conclusion. If you're buying these kind of ETFs, which are giving heavy dividends, ultimately they lose their luster, they lose their NAV, and you are stuck into this situation where you have to bail out at some point or you would lose. So that is all there is to it for today for Bitcoin, MSTR, and MSTY. If you like this content, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side.